So Samsung, Sony, Huawei, and all the other tech giants brought their big announcements to IFA, but I'm starting my coverage with a brand you've probably never heard of before, Neffos. I'm Martin from TechAltar, reporting to you from Berlin, and let's see what they've got.
So, you've never heard of Neffos before, but you have heard of its parent company, TP-Link. It makes half of the world's wireless networking devices after all. The Neffos brand launched at the end of 2015 with the C5 line of products, but it didn't make a lot of headlines at first. TP-Link then went back to the drawing board and decided to launch a much more competitive set of phones this time around, the X1 and the X1 Plus. And at the launch event in Berlin, it made it clear that it's taking things a lot more seriously. The X1 Duo looks like yet another pair of aggressively priced and solid looking mid-range phones from China, and it's exciting to see TP-Link now in the game as well. On the surface we get a metal body, 2.5D Gorilla Glass, slim bezels and wait, is that a mute switch? Well, it sure looks like one, pretty cool. The fingerprint reader unlocks your phone in just 0.2 seconds apparently, and it sure was fast on my demo unit. Under the hood, a MediaTek Helio P10 CPU is powering both phones, and storage options range from 2 GB of RAM paired with 16 GB of storage for the base model of the X1 to 4 GB of RAM with 64 GB of storage on the X1 Max. Both can also make use of microSD cards, by the way. In either case, the P10 is no powerhouse, but especially given the relatively light software skin, the system felt pretty responsive during my quick hands-on time. In terms of cameras, we have a decent looking 30 megapixel sensor on the back with face detection autofocus and an f2.0 aperture, as well as a 5 megapixel sensor on the front, which has beautification built in, of course. This is a Chinese smartphone after all. Regarding image quality, we'll have to wait for a full review to give a final verdict, of course. Displays come in at 5 inches and 720p for the X1 and 5.5 inches and 1080p for the X1 Max, while both use IPS technology. The X1 Max comes with a decent 3000 mAh battery and fast charging, but the smaller brother has a worryingly small 2250 mAh one and sadly no quick charging. At least you'll get close to stock Android Marshmallow software, and as TP-Link makes nearly half of the world's Wi-Fi routers, not surprisingly dual band Wi-Fi. Overall, the X1 and the X1 Max seem to be well-rounded mid-range phones, and at 199 and 249 euros for the entry-level X1 and X1 Max respectively, they are very aggressively priced. They bring decent performance with a metal body for a killer price, but there are a lot of competitors doing pretty much the same thing. It'll be interesting to see how Neffos plans to differentiate itself from the crowd, but other than the tiny battery on the X1, this sure looks like a very competent second try from the company. I got the chance to have an exclusive interview with the product manager of these phones, so if you want to see more, click here and give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and more than anything, subscribe to my channel for more awesome tech. You know you want it.